Okay. So everybody's loading in at least, so that's a positive sign already. Nobody needs extra breaks. And well, I just hope that I won't have to leave you before this game ends because I have a cast at 19 as well. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, this series definitely is going quite a bit longer. We're going to see Luna and Slardar Band, those classic heroes, being taken out of the pool. Spirit Breaker, Naga Siren, easy. Yeah, hopefully this is just easy peasy.
Well, sure, it's going fast for them at the moment at least. One misclick though, and it just means another remake.
Please, no. Anti-Mage Draw, looking all good there. Doom, sweet. Death Prophet. Bane. We're good so far.
Dyer's pick.
Okay, so the next hero, it's Puck Ember Spirit coming out from Lions, or oh dear, or from House of Gamers. Lions. Oh dear.
It's hard to remember teams, man, or the lineups. Okay, so Sand King Tide. Oh yeah, Necrophos was the fifth one before.
Radiant's pick.
I don't even know. I'm not even focusing on that at all, to be honest. So, and the Doombringer was also banned. Thank God it wasn't the pick this time around. For a second I was like, oh. Okay, Puck. Looks like both teams know what they're doing. So, one more hero to come afterwards. It was kind of... Oh, it was a Chikiro for Lions, if I'm not mistaken, as well as a
Oh dear. Okay,
Ember Spirit for the other one, House of Gamers.
Well, we're doing this again. Third time's the charm, I suppose. Automatic server picked Lux again, which in theory should be the better server, but Stockholm it is.
Okay then. Woohoo! So we're actually remaking, right?
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, what can you do? That's all I can say. What can you do?
We can make jokes and make small talk, which is honestly incredibly hard.
Well, Mango Banana, at least he is raging as well. So all is fine. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones. Well, we're not really raging. It's just going to be, or at least become quite hard. I hope just it won't happen like yesterday, because some games went on for so long and by the end we had to reschedule one game to be at the end of today. So maybe we're gonna have to reschedule some game again if it keeps on going like this, because it's 2 hours now already and we're just starting the second game.
Yeah, it's incredibly ambitious to have Dota last an hour per game in a best of 2. Because if you have a game that lasts like 60 plus minutes, like last game did, you have like 15, 30 minutes getting players in the lobby, drafting. It just isn't going to happen. So right now, fast draft, and I'm gonna check the pings right now and make sure everything's all good. Okay, so as it should be, I have the highest ping. We're Gucci.
Oh, that's that's good already if you have the highest ping at least. I have completely fine ping. It's, well, 90, should be fine. I think everybody is around 100 mostly.
Yep, okay, so everything is planned so far.
Dyer's ban.
There's just so many chances that somebody will pick or ban the wrong hero. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I really hate doing this, but I don't know. Maybe they have some shenanigans going on with that extra time. I think it's just going to be for warding, but I don't know. Level 1 roast with Razor, Marana, Bane, Ember Spirit, and Puck. New meta.
Indeed it is. Imagine just if we saw a game with these actual bans like Anti-Mage, Luna, Naga Siren, and then Drow banned out in a row for one team.
Radiant's pick.
That's the craziest thing.
Dyer's pick.
So far, so good. 4 heroes for both teams picked correctly. It's still Necrophos to come, as well as an Ember Spirit for the respective teams here. Oh, Necrophos, Lions, fingers crossed. Yes, success.
Ember Spirit, easy. Okay, so we're in the game, finally. Thanks for sticking through that elongated pause, but we should have some Dota coming up shortly, and hopefully it's pretty exciting. Right now we're... yeah.
We're triple the excitement, man. Triple the excitement.
Definitely. I think the excitement is going to be based on whether or not Bane and Mirana are able to roam effectively, because I think that, excuse me, Lions are going to be pretty happy to take this passively, at least until the Blink Daggers come out from Sand Tidehunter.
Well, as we're logging in anyway, I'm gonna go for a fast Dota restart.
Someone's dropped out like
So
a kid in
I'm gonna be
school.
back in a second. Shouldn't take me all that long, I think. The pleasures of not being the streamer, man. You can do whatever you want with your Dota.
Absolutely. On the Radiant side, we are going to have Lions, or no,
Better get
excuse
ready.
me, it is going to be House of Gamers. Their team names aren't showing up, but screw it, we're not remaking again. We're going to see Malum playing on the Ember Spirit, Mango Banana on the Puck, Slashstrike playing on the Razor and Moment, and, excuse me, Faith and Stranger is going to be on the Bane Mirana combo. And on the Dire side, we are going to have House of Gamers with Bland, or excuse me, my goodness, I just can't get these names straight. It is going to be Lions with Bland on the Sand King. We're going to have Jakiro played by Sullen. Era is going to be handling our Necrophos this game. Tidehunter played by Jonas Sunfan as per usual. And Kix going to be playing on the Death Prophet. To start things off, we're going to have a little bit of a skirmish as Sullen is going to bump into Faith and Strangers. Bane really fast with those boots first, potentially looking for a Nightmare. They're going to connect with the Nightmare Arrow to follow up. Now they have the Flame Guard as well for a little bit of extra damage. The right clicks are just too much. When you're one hero caught out by 5, there's just not a chance that you're going to survive through it. And in a change of pace, we're going to see First Blood before the 10-minute mark.
Oh, House of Gamers, really? It's a nice first blood for them to get, and if you're running a Mirana Bane combination, that's exactly what you want to have happen as well, a first blood like that. And not only that, Lions, they don't have the best level 1 lineup. I mean, it's not like it's bad or anything. Death Pulse can do quite a lot in AoE as kind of Crypt Swarm, but they just got caught off guard a little bit. Maybe if they had gone in as full 5, they could have fought, potentially. But nice first blood, House of Gamers, off to a great start, and well, they needed to just have a chance to reach the playoffs at all.
Yeah, definitely. House of Gamers are on the ropes. They pretty much need to win 5 of their games out of the 6 that they're playing today. So this game is very important for them if they want to keep their tournament hopes alive. It is a $30,000 tournament, despite not being popularized much right now. We're working on getting the ticket and stuff in-game as well. So hopefully all of that's sooner rather than later. Right now, Bane and Mirana sticking around up towards top. I think they know that the Sand King's chilling up on side this hill. It is going to be spotted out by the Mirana, and now the pings are coming out. If Nightmare lands, it might as well be a secondary kill unless the Nightmare toggle comes off.
Oh, it's going to be so hard. At least they have 2 ranged heroes, so it's a little bit easier to take it off, I guess. But they want to set it up. I'm not too sure if they know Solan is just flying around with the hero there as well or not. But Hera, starting with the Heartstopper Aura as well, what actually do you think of this item, or skill build rather? I guess it doesn't make too much difference since you're going to get level 2 rather fast, but Heartstopper Aura is pretty damn annoying to go up against.
Yeah, I think it's completely fine. Getting 1 point early on is nice, but I don't think you should put any more into that. It's, I don't know, kind of up to your choice whether you're going to sacrifice that 1 point to Sadist or Death Pulse in order to get it off. I think even more peculiar is that he starts out with 2 rings, going to bump into Faith and Strangers. 1 right click, doesn't have the Nightmare thrown out yet. The short range arrow is going to come out, and that's not going to be enough damage to kill off Arrow. With the Liquid Fire on both of these heroes, they're going to be forced to back off. Very peculiar exchange coming out from both of these supports, and Out of Sight and Out of Mind is already running fairly low in the regen, forced to munch through 2 of his tangos, and the third shoot soon to follow, and with the constant harass coming out from Death Pulse, that's not going to change. Arrow, pot shot up mid, going to land on the Era. They do have, excuse me, the Illusory Orb level 2, and this should be enough time to kill off Era. With 1 heal, it's not going to be enough. Jaunt very long coming out from Mango Banana, but it's still going to be enough to kill off the Necrophos. And that's going to be 2 kills going the way of the Puck, all said and done. Now fighting up against Sullen, should be able to make his way out of this. Still has the Illusory Orb if things really hit the fan. But now it's time for Bane and Mirana to make themselves known in another lane. This lane might be mid.
Oh, Puck still might be in trouble. Burrow Strike plan is going to get the slow from the dual breath of Jakiro, and that's going to be a counter kill onto the Puck, who still, he's level 3, so I guess he doesn't care that much about dying there. I mean, just Puck level 3 in the off lane already, level 4 almost even, just doing pretty damn good.
I don't think he should have died there. I think he could have just gone back with an Illusory Orb and then salved up, but getting caught out, just being a little bit greedy with that mana pool, not wanting to go back to base all the way. So it is going to be Puck giving up a kill, which is nice for Lions, but it's not going to redeem the fact that they've lost so much. In mid, Slashstrike is dropping very low. Bane's looking for the Nightmare. Finds the Nightmare. Now this should be a fairly easy arrow follow-up. Like hitting Fish in a Barrel. Kix is going to be dropped down with a fairly long-range stun. But now Slashstrike going to be followed up with the Burrow Strike. The right clicks are still coming out, and Slashstrike is feeling comfortable enough to sit in this lane. There's no salve on Faith and Strangers or on the Mirana, so Slashstrike needs to be careful. Only 1 pooled tango to his name.
So looks like we have the exact opposite of game number 1. I thought the first plot might have been a small fluke or something, but nope. Just 4 kills already, 3 minutes in, looking good for me. But looking at the other lanes, for example, Malam on the Ember Spirit is doing rather well against Tidehunter. Went for the early Magic Stick as well, as is the most common thing to go for against Tidehunter, who's going to be spamming out the Anchor Smash so often. Tidehunter, of course, should be having a small upper hand in the lane, as he is 17-3 compared to 12-1. But Ember Spirit, he's getting the levels, and once he gets level 6, he should be rather safe from more or less anything.
Yeah, right now it's going to be a long-range arrow. Fishing for the Mirana, not going to land. Lands on to the range creep, and now he's going to deny that creep, so that arrow hurting more than it's helping. Mid lane still not all the way back up to regen that he'd like to be, but with a bottle, Slash Strike is now going to be dominating this lane fairly effectively. It's not going to be the worst of lanes for Death Prophet. Every once in a while she'll be able to get a Crypt Storm off to get some CS, but outside of that, it's not a happy place to be. Illusory Orb up in top, doing quite a bit of damage to Jakiro, but then again, out of sight, out of mind, taking quite a bit from the Necrophos. He's going to be forced to blow through his salve already.
Well, Bane, he just went past the Sanking in the enemy jungle or in the Dire jungle, Nightmare plan up and ran towards the Dire base. It was just mostly to plant down this sentry here. Maybe they're... Well, I guess it will also prevent Plan from farming it up, because if you sandstorm, the creeps are still going to see you and come right-click you. Solendo might be in a little bit of trouble. One brain zap might be the death of the Jakiro. Jakiro jukes as well as he can, but... Oh no, the Burrow Strike is there as well. Can he get the brain zap off? He cannot. So, Solan, he stays alive. Nicely done just by the Jakiro juking things out and Plan coming in for the rescue.
Yeah, if that Burrow Strike was a second later, a second earlier, that probably wouldn't have been a kill, as Bane would have been able to get the brain sap, but canceling the mid-animation both times, working beautifully for them. It's going to make sure that Jakiro makes it back to base, and both of these supports really needed that extra bit of experience. Level 3 on both of them. Sand King now can farm up his medium camp at the very least, but oh no, the other sentry is spotting him out. And although the stack goes through Bland, be careful! He was AFK there for a second, but now he's going to be able to back off. Still, Sand King's jungle, despite not directly blocking the camps before the stacks come out, is not going to be very happy. Down at bottom.
Fan? Yeah. Oh, he already had a tree eaten there, I guess, or these days can you really just pass through anyway without eating trees?
Yeah, you can walk through here.
Oh man, coolio. Arrow will land perfectly to the Ember Spirit. Level 3 Flame Guard should be plenty to get the kill. Kraken Shell is there, but Dual Breath comes off from Solan. He needs the Ice Path, which, well, he does not have. And Jonathan Penn still alive somehow, finally. Searing Chains. He does die. So, nice setup. I mean, you can't really do much of anything when you just get slept into Arrow.
Yeah, Tidehunter survived longer than most would in that situation, as he's very tanky, with especially getting Anchor Smash off into the Ember Spirit, who's the one right-clicking, doing hardly any damage at all. But still, it's going to be just fine. Puck not able to put much pressure on the Necrophos. Necro is getting pretty much free farm in this lane, and the Puck is getting a little bit out of it, and getting a lot of experience at the very least. But for now, it's pretty much a 1v1 lane, as Jakiro, as well as the Sand King, Bane, and Mirana have all kind of been nomads throughout the entirety of it. A moment throwing an arrow mid, lands squarely onto KX with Razor going for the wraparound, gets the link off, and the right click should be plenty in order to get this kill, even though the tower is there. Leap away from the Mirana should keep a moment safe. He's going to be Ice Path, however. This might be enough damage. They need one more, and it should be flying towards him. The bottle charge from the Razor is going to save his life.
What a good player, Razor. Just excellent teammate. Without the bottle charge, 100% dead Mirana there. So nicely done keeping him alive. Even has one bottle charge, extra even. So 5-2, excellent start for House of Gamers, once again, more or less. Mirana, I mean, who needs setup when you can just land the arrows Chuan style? So, really, I think this Mirana has accomplished way more than I would have expected him to.
Yeah, currently being involved in every single one of House of Gamers' 5 kills. Wherever the Mirana goes, kills seem to happen. And I don't think this Mirana has really missed very many arrows. There's one in bottom that comes to memory, but that's about it. It's a pretty nice performance. Sand King still dealing with these sentries. He is going to get the D ward on the one over at the large camp, but still has missed a lot of the stacks because of it, so he only has a double stack to farm up here, and Bland's going to be severely stunted in his growth as far as Sand King is concerned because of it. Mirana now TPing towards top, already with the Bane and the Puck in this lane. There is some killing potential, so I expect this to be the place where the next kill happens.
Yeah, Puck has the Dream Coil as well, and they want to go for Era, who is also level 7. So, unless they're careful, they might just die to a Reaper Scythe. Although Bane, he's gonna charge in. Smoke breaks though, and suddenly they just have to back off. That was really weird, although they do have a sentry down. Gonna be able to destroy even 2 wards. One is about to expire anyway, but easy 50 gold.
Yeah, Arrow thrown out by the Mirana. It's going to be over into the jungle, expecting his Sand King to be farming there, but he's instead farming his large camp. Gets one more stack before getting off the Sandstorm, and eventually Sand King's going to be able to get this. Slash Strike falling fairly low on mid, but now Kicks pursued by the Mirana. Moment doesn't have anything else to chase other than that leap, and no arrows landing means no kills, so 5-2 is where this kill score is going to reign, and even though Necrophos has been roamed upon, he hasn't been killed very much and still CSing well. It's still a close game despite the kill score not reflecting that. It's a slight lead towards the Radiant, and in this case, that's House of Gamers.
Net worth-wise, Razor is the number one, up to 2.1k gold. Is he saving for like straight off mech, or what's he going for? How do we want to see yet another Midas game? Oh well, yes we are. Midas, Razor, so Ember Spirit might go for one as Arrow landed bottom lane. Tidehunter gonna lose his life once again. Malum did drop pretty low as well, but there's the Nightmare coming out. And one more right click. No, they wanted to leave it to Ember Spirit, but the searing change just went to the creeps.
Yeah, Malum, they ravaged down in bottom as well as an Anchor Smash, and Tidehunter almost gets that kill. But in the end, arrows are arrows, and you can't really do anything about it. I thought the Ember Spirit would be the one to fall there, but he'll be able to TP back to base, get a full stack of health as well as refilling his bottle at the same time. Then we'll be able to Remnant away and get back towards bottom lane, continuously farming. Puck up in top does have his Dream Coil, but we haven't seen that spent yet. Does go for the bottle before backing off for the Blink Dagger, about halfway towards the until he has his Blink. And Bland is about to have his. It's not the fastest Blink Dagger to see on a Sand King, but he has gotten both of the kills that his team has, and after the Sentry is dissolved, he's been able to farm pretty effectively. So Bland is now going to be able to make that first Blink rotation down in bottom, chains onto Jonas Sunfan. They do have an arrow, it's incredibly short range, so it's not going to stun very long, but still doing a decent amount of damage. Jonas Sunfan is going to be fine under his tower, however, TP coming out from the support is cancelled.
The angle just wasn't right for the Mirana to go for a longer arrow. He really had to leap in there to just land it at all. So a little bit unfortunate, of course, no points into Starstorm as well, has gone for the maxed out arrow. He feels really confident. Now Jonathan fan getting series changed up, they want to go for him again. Melando has to escape. Ravage on cooldown, of course, and they know of it as well. A few more right clicks, they're just going to bring him down. Nightmare as well. Not too sure if that was actually a good thing or not, but he's still alive. One more right click, leap out from a moment, and everybody makes it out. But Quicks on crit 4 might just get a triple kill almost. Well, not quite, but would have been pretty damn close to the moment. He's choking things out, Quicks. Not going for a random one, finally goes for it. Gets the Mirana. But all things considered, only losing the Mirana is pretty acceptable.
Yeah, that was pretty greedy coming out from House of Gamers, going for that Tidehunter kill the way that they did. The Nightmare and the Chains were both purged off by Kraken Shell, and they expected that to get the kill, so it was very close, and they had to dive a little bit deeper, and that's going to cost them Mirana's life. Kicks coming down to bottom lane, picking up some farm, picking him a kill. Can't really ask for much more coming out from your Death Prophet, and Razor's also not in mid in the meantime, farming up his jungle, so not losing much there either. Razor, since he had a free time going for this Midas, I think is a pretty solid choice. Up in top, tower's going to fall, and TPs, they're going to pursue down Ares. Silence, Dream Coiled up, can't do anything. Arrow to right click down. And now Solon going to be linked up by Slash Strike, chased down by this Razor with the Eye of the Storm activated. It's unlikely Solon's able to escape, but now with the Blink Epicenter, Slash Strike is the one to fall. Urn Charge should take down Solon. They only need a little bit of damage, and that's all that they need. Bland is now going to be pursued. You have a puck within Loser Orb, as well as the Phase Shift. Arrow's going to land on a creep. Unfortunately, that hitbox is a little wide, and now Bland, still being pursued by Mirana, has no mana to get anything off, but a leap away from Mirana will keep herself safe, whereas Bland is going to be bottled up, so he's going to be fine as well.
Well, really clutch plays from both. Razor, I was so sure it's going to just chase down the Shakira, and that's it. Mid lane though, whoa, Tidehunter gets the solo kill with the Ravage. Might even go for Bane now. Anchor Smash does a crazy amount of damage. He has the Brains Up, of course. There's the Nightmare first. Now lacking the mana for Brains Up. But Malum, he's not even going to come. They're just going for Era instead. Necrophos just as good of a kill as a moment on the run. Malum, another Searing Change, catches two. Gonna get Solon for sure. At least should be able to chase him down. Jonathan Fan still keeps on going for Mirana or Bane, either or. But couldn't catch either. Going for the TP out. Searing Change, do they have it? Yes, they do. Nicely cancelled TP, and Tidehunter gonna lose his life.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time till he does. It's going to be jumped forward by Malum, looking to steal the kill. Not going to happen as Mirana gets it with the Urn. Really been paying dividends, this Urn of Shadows, as they've been able to use it to sustain as well as to get that extra bit of damage. Using it fairly effectively. Although it's kind of fun to get a lot of charges on your Urn, it's better to drop it down low, get those extra 2 charges, and just the effective damage is secured more than 1 kill.
So in the end it was a 3-for-2 exchange over I don't even know what period of time. But House of Gamers once again coming out ahead. Looking at the graphs, They're about 2,000 net worth ahead. XP 3k even. But Plan comes in, blink, Burrow Strike onto Slash Strike. Should be an easy kill. There's the Reaper Scythe as well. Oh, actually, it doesn't get the kill. He's trying to bottle up. Not quite enough, but at least he doesn't get the extra 30 seconds of respawn time.
Yeah, at the very least for the Razor, that Reaper's Scythe does very little damage and you can't rely on it to do anything. You pretty much just use it if you know you're going to get the kill, so you can tack on that extra 30 seconds, at least at level 1. Once the more levels come out into it, it's a significant damage source, but right now it's effectively just a 1.5 second disable.
Well, Lions also get the tower down. Quicks gets the last hit for it. Level 10. If he gets level 11, Exorcism just suddenly becomes that much stronger. It adds quite a lot of spirits to it. But no, I actually thought House of Gamers might try to go for the trade, but they back off in time. And bottom lane, Jonathan fan, Searing Chains up. They have Nightmare, yeah. They even used the Fiend Script for this.
Yeah,
so kill secured on the Tide.
Generally, using Fiend's Grip on a Tide isn't the greatest of choices because, as we saw, it can be purged off by the Kraken Shell, but they canceled his TP, so Tidehunter is kind of stuck at that point, can't do anything, and it's going to be more kills going their way. This Ember Spirit is currently 404. Epicenter being channeled by Bland, but he can't connect with Burrow Strike till fairly late. Only 2 of those pulses landing, and that might secure Malam's retreat. Ice Path long range, not gonna land on anything. Nightmare toggled the way of Solon, probably going to save him as well as Mirana's up towards top, fishing for the Necrophos. Era already dropped pretty low from the Puck's barrage of spells, but now Puck does have the Dreamcoil as well as an Illusory. Jaunt away down towards the south, trying to TP out. They will get a little bit more damage onto him, but no way to cancel it outside of the Reaper's side, and that's not available yet. So everybody's going to make it out up on top.
The really clutch escape. The level 1 phase shift isn't the easiest thing to just maneuver, really. It was over so damn fast. I'm just used to maxed out phase shifts, at least seeing them. But he makes it out, that's all that matters. Only 300 gold away from the Blink Dagger as well, so the death would have been a pretty huge blow to him. And once he gets the Blink Dagger, that's going to be the initiation, because so far all they have really is maybe just a random arrow flying or Ember Spirit going in with the Remnants. And speaking of Ember Spirit, Malam might want to go for Solan. He has vision of him, he has his Remnants, has the Flame Guard ready. Should be an easy kill, they're even going to have Bane TP just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, right now, Malam is stalking him down. This should be fairly easy chains. Yep, slight chains, and now with the Fire Spirit as well, it's going to be plenty of damage. The Rain Stop there to help secure it. It's going to be a mega kill for Malam at this point, presumably saving up for a Battle Fury, and he already has enough gold for one of the swords or Perseverance should he choose to go for it. This Ember Spirit is going to be incredibly scary for Lions to deal with. The Necrophos and Death Prophet are getting a decent amount of farm, but it's just not as much as their counterpart on the enemy's side. Really, the X factor for them is going to be the Sand King and Mirana. She's going to go for a fairly late hand of Midas at less than 16 minutes in. It's fine for support, especially since she went for the urn first. And I'm okay with this choice, although it's greedy. There's nothing really else that Mirana is going to buy immediately that's going to have an impact. And she does scale decently well with items, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly good. I mean, for the support, otherwise you would just be struggling for like wards. Maybe you can finish up boots or whatnot. With this, you said he does scale reasonably well with items. So it's going to be nice. 3 heroes from Lions have grouped up on the bottom lane, make it even 4. They deward 1 Observer Ward, nicely done, and most likely will use the Exorcism just to claim the tier 1 here. Might not even need the Exorcism even with level 4 Liquid Fire, depending on if House of Gamers want to or just are completely gonna sack the tower.
I don't
Still
think,
14 to 6. Yeah, go.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a chance of contesting this pushdown in bottom. They're fighting into Ravage, they don't know where the Sand King is. He's also down bottom, and so they're just gonna let that one slide. Liquid Fire is all that they need.
And to be honest, being 14 to 6 in kills, well, okay, XP lead is pretty huge for them. It's 7,000-ish, at least pretty close to 7k. Quicks, oh, another arrow lands from a moment. He wants to go for the solo kill. Bane is gonna come in as well. There's the Brains of Malam, he runs past him. There's the Fiend Script just in case. Burrow Strike stops, the Quicks, he's still alive, he's bottling through. Ember Spirit gets the kill in the end with the right clicks, but Bane, Nightmare, maybe gonna get the deny on himself. Yes, commits suicide. So he does make it out, although the kill wasn't as clean as it really should have been.
In the end, it doesn't matter, they still get the kill. Solon being pursued by the Puck. A loser orb does a decent amount of damage. TP attempt going to be cancelled by that Dreamcoil. Forcing him to commit the ultimate is about as good as Jakiro could have done, but in the end, it's a solo kill for the Puck, and even more gold towards him, showing off that Blink Dagger now, which he picked up about a minute ago.
What do you think of Necrophos building a Rod of Athos, by the way?
I think this is one of the better Necro builds. A lot of people favor Blink Dagger, but honestly, I think that Athos serves the same purpose. It gives them a lot of stats that Necrophos loves, more intelligence, more damage, and more HP. I think there's not really anything else that fits the bill as nicely as a Rod of Atos.
Well, it does give you some pretty nice mana as well. I mean, sometimes Necrophos builds towards a mech, but that would really strain your mana pool so much. I mean, Death Pulse just takes so much out of you already. I really love the lineup I once saw with an OD and the Necrophos, but oh, top lane, Epicenter coming out with the Burrow Strike as well onto Malam. Ember Spirit, can you escape? Oh, yes, he can. The follow-up stuns just were non-existent.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with an Ember Spirit. They needed to commit a Ravage or anything else. Like, the only heroes that were close, you have
mid lane Solan, he got leaped upon a moment. He just leapt into the arrow and Solan. He goes down, but they're going to get the Burrow Strike onto the Bane, so it's a 1-for-1 so far. Quick's gonna chase down Slash Strike, but actually, never mind me. The Eye of the Storm level 2 just completely decimates Quicks, and now Jonathan wants to get a blow as well. There's the silence onto Era. Nice Ravage, catches free, but is it enough? A moment leaps in once again. This Mirana is so aggressive. Nice Burrow Strike lands on 2, but the Dream Coil was already used. Jonathan gonna get Searing Chains up as well planned. Well, he can't do much of anything anymore. They kill off 2, but they lose 4 for it.
Right now, it's just a moment of time till Sand King dies. Malam's forced to stick charge. He's going to Remnant in. And, well, Bland is completely fine. Never mind that. Sand King is going to be able to get out of there safely. As nobody else stuck around. Ember Spirit, they didn't have detection, so can't secure that last kill. It's still going to be favorable for them. Arrow Snipe! Ooh, not going to land on the Bland. There is a courier inbound, but it's going to be a leap away from Mirana, making sure that she makes enough distance between herself and that Sand King.
Oh god, this... A moment, I have to say, it's one of the more impressive Mirana plays I've seen in quite a while. He's just aggressive play with leaping arrows like that. He's been setting up everything. He has died only once as well. Has been a part of 15 kills. I mean, he's probably been close to more of them, but it only shows in the KDA if you do some damage to them as well. But without maxing out Starstorm, you're probably not going to do too much AoE. Just single target focus them down. Maxed out Leap even. Really don't see that kind of skill build too often.
Yeah, definitely not. I think it's fine as the way that he's playing. It's really just a walking arrow and leap, which is perfectly acceptable as long as you hit those arrows. And so, since Mirana's been able to do that, it's working well for, excuse me, House of Gamers, and currently sitting them at a decent advantage. Although, their pushing power just isn't up to snuff with that of the enemy team. They have a Razor who, once he has that Aghanim Scepter complete, well, actually he does. After going for the Midas, it's going to be at a nice click. And the Battle Fury from the Ember Spirit scratch that. They have a decent amount of pushing power of their own, but it's not as good as Look at Fire as well as Exorcism.
So, we do have a smoke from Lions. They want to go for just anything. They need to get any kills they can because they're falling pretty far behind in farm and everything else as well. Razor, he's pretty tanky, but there's the Burrow Strike, Epicenter being channeled. It should be an easy kill even though the Moonlight Shadow is there. They have the sentries. Reaper Scythe, finally Era finds a kill with that. Much needed kill, and wow, the Reaper Scythe is so sick, man. It's like 87 seconds suddenly Razor on the sidelines.
Yeah, and no buyback. You can't do anything about that. It's Razor that's gone. And that's a lot of net worth being deleted off the map for that time. It's also HoG that can't really contest against this tier 2 tower push. They're going to glyph it, but they're looking for as much trades as they can across the map. Burst Strike in mid, out of sight, out of man, taking a lot more damage than I thought he would, and the Gush kills him off. He had a phase shift, didn't spend it. I thought he'd survive with a phase shift blink, but apparently not, just not fast enough on his fingers. And now, with no puck, no Razor for 40 seconds, they might be able to put a decent amount of hurt into this tier 3 tower, and maybe even the barracks. I don't know. Right now, they're just not in position to defend. They'll get a tier 2 tower up and top as trade, but they need to get back in their base quickly because this tier 3 tower is falling too fast. Atos on the Mirage. She'll be able to leap up to the high ground. Nightmare going the way of kicks. No follow-up there. Going to grip up kicks now, and it's going to be the Death Prophet losing her life for this push.
They might get Era as well. They have the Searing Chains, Ice Path. It's not enough Era. He gets stunned. No more TP anymore. He does quite a lot of counter damage as well before he goes down at least. They get the one kill and maybe even another one. Burrow Strike onto Faith Ranger's Malum. Another Sleight of Fist Era. He's still alive. Oh god. Couldn't get the last Death Pulse off. Negative Earn is too strong, but another couple of heroes dies. Malum with the Haste Rune. Charging through, going for the Solan, but no Searing Change anymore. Solan, oh no, doesn't even make it out. So they get the nice counter kills. But in the end, they still lost quite a bit, and tier 3 down to 300 HP already.
Yeah, it's kind of the power of the lineup. It's a 2-for-3 trade, but I think that the heroes that HoG got were more impactful, and I think the trade's still going to benefit them. But it's never good to have that tower fall. Tier 2 tower up top, however, probably needs to be denied or something. Tier 1 tower in mid, also a similar story. That one's going to be taken, and in the end, it's going to be House of Gamers getting the larger sum of gold. For some reason, Lions haven't denied that tier 2 tower yet, since nobody's close. They don't really have any pressure on them, but still, I think that it's going to be House of Gamers that are getting more items, and their items are more impactful. We have a Blink Dagger now on the Necrophos. I don't think that's going to accomplish much. He's now chained up to a creep, and jump away from the Ember Spirit. He's going to be fine. Tier 2 tower is glyphed now with the refresh glyph, and it's not going to be in deny range, so... Or actually, no, it's barely in deny range, excuse me. 4 HP under that threshold, and they'll be able to take this away from them. On the sidelines, we're going to have a fight breaking out onto the Tidehunter, linked up, looking for the Ravage. Finds the Ravage, but only in the Slash Strike, trying to focus down. He silenced Atos with the jump in from the Ember Spirit. Does a decent amount of damage, but with the Reaper Scythe, Slash Strike is dead for 90 seconds flat. Now we're going to see Malum trying to Remnant away. He drops a Sleight of Fist. Remnant, he's going to be fine. Jumping for the puck. It's silence onto 3. Dream Coil onto 2. There's no follow-up damage for this, however, and they're not going to be able to get these kills. Malum walks back into the Ice Path. Double Burrow Strike coming out from the Sand King. Finding out of sight, out of mind, as well as Malum trying to chase down this poor Ember Spirit. He's silenced up, trying to run away. One more Death Pulse. This is damage going to be there at will. That's a monster kill streak going the way of the Necrophos. Puck is making his escape towards the north. Illusory Orbs Blink should keep him safe. Now trying to chase down Jonas Sunfan. They might be able to get that kill, but it's too risky. TP aways from both a moment as well as the puck, and they'll survive. This time, it's Lions' turn to strike back, and they take a pretty convincing fight, despite Ravage only landing onto 1.
It was really a panic Ravage kind of. Oh, they might find Pain as well. They're going to get the Road of Atos. Burrow Strike to follow as well, Era. No Reaper's Type, but it still might be enough. Ice Path, they're waiting for it. Oh, can he commit suicide again? No, he cannot this time around. So they get another kill for themselves. Era, he did go for the Blinker after the Rod of Atos even. So extra mobility for Necrophos, trying to chase people down. But now Aghanim Scepter is on the menu for him. And in the meantime, Quicks with his level 2 Exorcism, they're already taking Roshan.
Yeah, as I said earlier, don't like the Blink Dagger on Necrophos. I think getting that Aghanim Scepter faster would have benefited him more, but that's going to become irrelevant in a couple thousand gold, which isn't that long for Era to farm. And now with an Aegis, can farm a little bit aggressively as well.
Well, man, that fight was exactly what they needed, though. Otherwise, the host of gamers were just pulling so far ahead. Although, Puck, does he want to go for something, Era? He's down to half HP, but he has the Aegis, so even if you go and blow the load, you might just lose your own life and not really get too much. Getting rid of Aegis is all well and good, but you cannot sacrifice your own life for it.
Yeah, definitely not. And without a Dagon, I think it's unlikely that Puck would even be able to get that kill before Era heals himself up and return kills onto the Puck. I don't know, it's just too fragile of a situation, and it would have to be Mango Banana completely outplaying Era, which I don't think is going to happen. It would have to be a pretty significant difference in skill level to go for that solo kill. Right now, Kick's farming up a small camp. Might be his last small camp that he's farming before he's sent back to base, but will back off with phase boots as well as drums and Yules. Runs a little too fast for Bane to catch up, and Ron is nowhere close to land that arrow. She's in mid.
Well, looks like Mirana's momentum has been slowed down a little bit. Although he's still farming up reasonably well. Looks like he's going for a Lincoln Sphere at the moment. I guess you really don't want to get Reaper Scythed. He's most likely going to use it on a core, maybe like an Ember Spirit or a Razor, just to make sure they can feel a little bit safer. Razor even going for a BKB now after the Aghanim Scepter. I like, or kind of like at least, that he's leaving the Boots of Speed as they are, because at some point in the game you're going to want to turn them into Boots of Travels anyway.
Yeah, and with a Midas, saving that extra slot is very impactful. He has a lot of slot-efficient items already, so maybe that's even his next item choice. Right now, a Moment's sitting on about the same net worth as the enemy Death Prophet, who's been farming pretty well, so I don't know, it's paying off for them. If you look at the net worth differential between the top and even the 8th player in this game, it's actually pretty impressive. It's only a difference of about 5,000. Currently, they're going to get a Reaper Scythe kill with a Blink Burrow Strike. Ravage not necessary, as they find themselves in Ember Spirit.
Radiant's top towers in bad
Well, it's just excellent kill, man. Getting the Ember Spirit down like that without a buyback. You don't even need Aghanims if it doesn't have the gold for it anyway. So Ember Spirit on the sidelines. They just keep on getting pickoffs like that. I'm not too sure. I guess it wasn't the most obvious position for the gank to come or what. But they cannot allow House of Gamers this. They can't allow for that to happen any more times, because they've been losing so many buildings just on top of like one random pickoff.
Yeah, definitely, and that's kind of the power of their lineup, and now they're going to go straight up high ground. Ember Spirit does have buyback now if he needs to spend it, and he might do. as the rest of his team just isn't in position to defend this. The tier 3 tower is as good as forfeit with liquid fire as well as exorcism going. Arrow lands onto Era. It's going to be followed up by the puck. Gets the silence off onto him, and the Ember chains. It's going to be enough to get off the Aegis. Rest of the heroes are falling, however. The buyback forced by the Ember already. Deny coming out onto the tower. Blink away from Necrophos. He's still going to be Fiend Script down on the low ground. Follow up from the puck as well as the Ember Spirit might be enough to get this kill. Era going to be tagged by an arrow again. They might be able to kill off this Necrophos, but he's giving off one too many death pulls as everybody's flying up in the air from this Jewel Scepter, pursuing a little bit more. Kicks, not going to get his TP canceled by the Ember Spirit, but the Dream Coil is going to come out. Now Kicks getting off a couple of his Crypt Swarms. It's not going to be enough to kill off the puck or the Mirana, both surviving fairly on fairly low HP. Tier 3 tower falls, but that's all that falls. Is HoG, I'd say that they make a successful defense, although it's a costly one.
It most certainly is. And Razor, he died just to the Tidehunter and Sand King getting the kill on him. Epicenter was used as well. But I'm not sure if he tried to fight them or he wanted to get the tier 1 tower bottom lane. But Razor wasn't even a part of the defense at all. He died anyway, so nicely done by Sand King and Tidehunter. Although, if the Sand King and Tide had been there with the Ravage and Epicenter for the push, it just might have ended up them getting Rex. But still tier 3 down, and man, it's really weird to see how much Lions have accomplished within just the past couple of minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Refresher picked up by Jonas Sunfan. It's going to be fairly hard for him to get this off. With his Ravage at level 16, he's going to need to double press his Arcane Boots in order to get it off, as well as a couple of other spells. It's going to be very tight, but double Ravage is an incredibly successful tool at locking down entire enemy teams. If you get off a good one, it's pretty much a one-team fight. It's fairly risky. He's going to show it off to the creep wave now. But eventually he's going to have something like a Shiva's Guard on top of it to where that's not going to mean as much. But still, that's a huge item pickup for Lions to snag. And now Dagon on the puck, not as impactful, but maybe out of sight, out of mind, can look for some solo pickoffs. There's just nobody really good to go on. The lowest HP is currently that of the Jakiro, and he has the Yule Scepter.
Oh man, just crazy farm coming out. I mean, how the hell did Jonathan Fang get that Ravage or Refresher Orb so fast? He had like 4 deaths to 12 minutes in or something. Definitely didn't have a great game or anything. And well, it's going to be just so hard for them to defend Rax, I think. Quicks though, does he have anything coming out at all, Death Prophet? His item progression though, I would have expected him to have way more than he does, but he has less than the Sand King in net perf.
Yeah, he's died one too many times, and he hasn't been able to find farm in any of the lanes. It's the Necrophos to take that, and Tidehunter has been hogging the Ancients as well. If you look at the CS, although I usually don't at this point in the game, he is incredibly low on the chart below the puck. If you look at his counterpart, he's down 50 as far as the mid lane is concerned.
Oh wow, well, they do smoke up, they want to go for another fight, they want to use that freshly gained double Ravage. Of course, looks like House of Gamers, they're at a completely different side of the map, at least for the most of them. Ember Spirit, man, if it dies again here, it's just going to be disastrous. Although this time around, never mind, this buyback is on cooldown anyway. So he's going to back off just in the nick of time.
Yeah, he's going to survive. Tidehunter's not in position for that double Ravage. He is smoked up still. That's going to wear off shortly. But they still have a Sand King Burrow Strike, which is scary. And Ember Spirit, his Remnant's going to die down fairly quickly. It is behind the Radiant Tier 2 currently. Yeah. Malum's going to exercise a little bit of caution, as he probably should. Down in bottom, however, it's a Tier 2 tower push coming out from the rest of the members of House of Gamers. This Tier 2 tower is falling fairly low, and they might be able to take it since nobody's in position to defend, but they need to start thinking about their high ground now. TPs are coming back towards the base, and they're getting in position. Puck's still there, and Razor and Bane have still yet to show their faces. Arrow to Fly going to land onto the melee creep.
So they're going to go in. Oh, Link comes out from Puck. Doesn't land the silence on anybody at all. Do they follow up? Era, he goes in. They want to get Ember Spirit. He got stunned up. Epicenter is there as well. They need a little bit more. Ember Spirit goes down. No buyback, of course. But Era, he got Fiend Script. There's no Aegis at the moment. BKB from Slash Strike as well. Does he have enough? Era drops extremely low, but there's the Blink Ravage, number 1. Refresher Orb, number 2 as well. Catches pretty much every single hero. Slash Strike, thank God he had the BKB, but he's the lone survivor at the moment. Buyback from the Mirana, wants to come back in. But they've already lost the Rax. Burrow Strike, Plant doesn't get the kill on Razor, just maybe gonna lose his own life. Ice Path helps out a little bit for his escape, but he got tagged by the arrow, so a moment does get the counter there, but still Rax down and mission accomplished.
Yeah, definitely. They lose a couple of heroes for it, but at this point in the game, that's wonderful for them. If they hadn't have lost the Sand King Necrophos, they could have looked for more, although not mid, down in bottom, they do have an exposed tier 3. There's still a tier 2 for them to go for a moment. He's going a little ballsy, looking for that arrows, gets a really short range one on the Tidehunter. It's immediately buffed out, and Well, there you go. Jakira's going to get that kill. Too much damage for Mirana to deal with. I'm not exactly sure what his thoughts were there, but generally, as a support, you can't do that. Not enough damage to back that up.
A little bit unfortunate for sure, but, well, I mean, to be honest, he dove back. I mean, Sand King, he died just because he went way too aggressive. Necrophos, I think, needn't have gone that far in as well to get the kill on the Ember Spirit, but racks are down. Suddenly 3.4k gold on Quicks on the Death Prophet as well. Can go for Heart of the Rash, Shiva's card, anything along those lines. What he wants to go for next. And man, the double Ravage is just so devastating to go up against when you just don't have any BKBs. I mean, there's one, but all the other heroes still got hit.
Yeah, and that's just not acceptable. And Razor with BKB, although he does a decent amount of damage, his damage is less controlled, especially at the early portions of the fight when you just have the Eye of the Storm going, you don't have a long link to back that up. He just wasn't able to focus anybody down. They get the Necrovos by blowing quite a bit onto him, but then again, they lost their Ember to start that off.
Quick Speed Script, and wow. Yeah, just... He got caught out in no man's land, just easy Fiend Script. Nothing for him to do with the Dagon helping out a little bit there as well. Not entirely necessary, but some more help. And that's gonna slow down Lions a little bit. Although there's definitely still in the driver's seat. I mean, just look at the graphs. It used to be quite heavily in House of Gamers' favor. Now 2.5k in net worth for Lions instead. XP from 10k in the favor of the Radiant side. Suddenly Dire, 2.5k in the favor of Amalem. They might find Jonas Fan. His blink was still on cooldown. Searing Chains are there. They don't want to follow up, or do they? Plasma Field comes through as well. Still no blink. They're stealing the damage, but oh, he was waiting for Bland to come in and bail him out with the Force Staff.
Yeah, another arrow going to fly through. Doesn't land on anything, and neither team's going to find any huge pickoffs. Still, HoG, I like their farm distribution a little bit better. Bane has almost nothing, just an Ogre Club Bracer to his name. But at this point in the game, Bane isn't going to be using that farm incredibly well. And although the Sand King has a decent amount on the Dire side, he's not using much for it. I mean, he just saves the Titan with the Force Staff, and it's always nice utility. But I'd much rather have the farmed Ember Spirit and Razor.
Oh, I would as well, for sure. I mean, just... Ember, he can do so much with farm, although at the moment... It's not like he has bad farm, but... He just needs a little bit more at the moment at this point. And oh, they're gonna go for a fight. Necrophos goes down first. Solan gonna lose his life as well to the BKB Razor. And Quicks, he's down to half HP. He's just not tanky enough at the moment. He's trying to build up a Heart of the Rash, but is he gonna be chased down? Yes, Malum. He came in, had a Lincoln Sphere buff as well. Suddenly, 4 heroes down, man. What the hell was that fight?
That was Sand King jumping in, looking for an opening, but he finds a Burrow Strike onto one, then dies. Then the rest of his team want to pursue him. Jonas Sunfan going to be tagged by the chains, buffed out by the Kraken Shell. He's going to use one Ravage. He does have a second one, but he doesn't want to use it. Refreshes it immediately. He goes back in. He gets the Ravage onto 3 this time, but there's not enough backup. Buyback from Sand King. He's Fiend Script. Bland. He's going to fall to the Dagon now a moment. He's inside the base. Might die here, but the Nightmare going on Jonas Sunfan. The creeps aren't dying enough. He's looking for the arrow. Lands onto a melee creep. Ember Spirit did fall because of that buyback, so I suppose it's kind of nice, but they just blew both of their Ravages. It is going to repel House of Gamers, but my goodness, that was a very peculiar play.
Indeed it was. I mean, if they only had like one extra hero to help out, they're Sand King a little bit too late with the buyback, I guess. Had the buyback immediately, but they weren't really planning on having to blow the double Ravage, I guess. So in the end, worked out heavily in House of Gamers' favor, so they pretty much bring the graphs back into their own ballpark. Not by a huge margin, being 36 minutes in, but at least they have a lead once again. Although, if Tidehunter got such a double Ravage off when the teamfight just began, it would have just been GG, fight 1 for Lions, but... I mean, that didn't happen, and that's all that matters for House of Gamers.
Yeah. Although the House of Gamers are missing their top lane and barracks, it doesn't feel like it. They're playing pretty much as if they had that barracks up, and they can. They have a decent amount of wave clear between Puck's nukes, Plasma Field, and Ember Spirit to top it all off. Loser Orb thrown into the Roshan pit. It looks like the Radiant are just spotting that out instead of actually going for it themselves. Ember Spirit's back in the base, as he needs to be. A couple of Sleight of Fists will clear up these Mega Creeps, but it's going to be annoying that Malum can't be with the rest of his team.
Oh god, this game... It's more even than I expected it to be, especially with the start House of Gamers got, which is Mirana pretty much wrecking everything. I think a decent with the timed Hand of Midas. After that though, he hasn't really gotten too much accomplished. His KDA is still excellent, mind you. I mean, 10, 4, and 13 on a support Mirana. It's absolutely crazy how much he's accomplished. I mean, he has had way more impact than a puck really even in this game, but they do smoke up. If they find another fight like they did previously, they might just get racks out of this, although they're gonna have to survive with at least 3 heroes to do that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, both teams are posturing around. We do have House of Gamers smoked up in the enemy woods, and in the meantime, it's dire to look towards the Roche pit. This smoke isn't going to net them anything, as there's just nobody close. Although Era, he's I don't know, peeking his head around a corner. He's gonna blink into the Roshan pit, or over the Roshan pit rather. Mirana ultimate being expended. They don't have any sentries on the ground. And this could be problematic. I think they might have spotted out that bottom ulti, and now they definitely have, as the moment drops a ward onto the high ground. So both teams shouldn't get caught out by this unless House of Gamers walk into this bottom lane very precariously with no vision. It could go disastrously for them, as they double ravage will be up in 10 seconds.
This is just way too intense at the moment. Both teams, I think, yeah, they know where they are. At least the Radiant side knows where the Dire is for sure with the ward. They're finally going to spot it out themselves since they have a gem. They were sitting under it for quite some time, to be honest, without even realizing. But Roshan is up. It's just a heavy point of contention at the moment, and it's still like, is it really the first Roshan? Or no, never mind, we've seen at least one Aegis, I think.
Right now, Ember Spirit's pushing out top as he needs to, but he has a Remnant to get back to the base. Arrow fishing for the Mirana. They're going to spot out the Roshan pit with both the spells, the Loser and the Arrow. Both teams know that the other team is close, and it's going to be Lions to make the first movement out of that position. They're going to push down bottom, and this might work out for them, as the entirety of... House of Gamers are prepped to fight around the Roshan pit. They're not prepared to fight inside their own base right now. Everybody's just too far away. BKB on Ember Spirit might keep him safe, but he's going to join the rest of his team. He doesn't have a TP, and now they need to get back into their own base. Liquidfire is going to take this tier 3 tower if nothing else, but they are going to pop the glyph, delaying this push for now. Exorcism as well. Tier 3 tower is gone. Now into the melee barracks, they're going to start focusing. This is a dreadful situation for them. Jumping for the puck. Gets the silence as well as the dag and the loose door on the kicks, but he doesn't really care. Has that Reaver. And the melee barracks dropping to about half.
Oh, but there's the first ravage. Lands onto the Slasher Strike Razor. He's the main source of damage. He doesn't have buyback either. Necrophos ended his life with the Aghanim Scepter Quicks. Might lose his own. Yes, he does. So no Exorcism anymore. But Razor, he just... Oh god, his death was way too crucial, I think. Although Era dropping low as well. There's the Phoenix Grip. Burrow Strike onto Faith Strangers. So it's a 2-for-1 so far. Era might lose his life, but there's the second Ravage. Only catches the Mirana, I think. Puck just dodged it with a phase shift. Solan got tagged up by an arrow, so they do defend. It's a 1-for-3 only, and Jonathan Fan most likely will die to the 4 heroes.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a chance for a Tidehunter. Gets the Anchor Smash off, but the Sleight of Fist earn one more auto attack. Nightmare, probably unnecessary, but it's going to secure the double kill for the Puck, as well as a 1-for-4 trade. Razor's going to be sitting at base for ages, since he did die to that Reaper's Scythe ultimate, but, it's going to be a successful defense. It cost them a buyback, I believe, only on the Bane, but it's still a win nonetheless, especially in the experience for the Puck.
Man, I don't know how they actually won a fight like that, up against Double Ravage and losing the Razor straight away like this. But somehow they did it, and that's all that matters. I mean, to be honest, by now Ember Spirit is starting to become pretty scary as well. His PKB definitely helped out there, so they're holding on. Unfortunately for them, they're always going to have this one annoying lane to just push out. No boots or travels yet for anybody else to really keep on pushing as well. But looks like some TeamSpeak issues, and do you think House of Gamers, can they force a few buybacks, or Death Prophet coming back should already be enough maybe with the Sanking helping out?
I don't think they're going to be pushing into anything. Maybe they get a tier 2 top, since it's just already so low. They could backdoor it very easily. But even so, they have mega creeps in that lane, so getting there is already an issue. I don't think they're going to be forced to use buybacks. 20 seconds just seems a little bit too long.
It would make sense. At least they don't have the craziest pushers. I mean, if they had Razor Alive with Aghanim Scepter Ultimate, maybe they would have to buy back, but at the moment, just Mirana and Bane, not scary at all, to be honest. Unfortunately for House of Gamers. But House of Gamers, they do have the Ember Spirit, which is one of the better turtling heroes, to be honest. And this game, I think this might already be like triple racks, if only Death Prophet would have had a better time. I mean, he is still behind the Mirana in net worth.
I don't think it would have been triple racks. I think it would have been double. But yeah, the Death Prophet just not finding anything in this map, still not farming very well. The other heroes are hogging up quite a bit of the farming space, and then she just dies every fight. Focus down relentlessly. 3, 9, and 7 just can't get anything done. Mirana, Lincoln Sphere completed, now going to be sending out to herself Boots of Travel. Mirana just has room to grow from here. Right now, these are mostly just support items, although they're very high-ticket support items. The global presence coming up from the Boots of Travel, and just that extra survivability on the Ember Spirit or the Razor is going to be really nice for them.
Oh, it most certainly is indeed. And oh, we do have the game on pause, so we're going to continue. We might even get this game to actually end as well. I have like about 5 minutes left, I think. So all is good, all is well. But I'm not even positive if this game is going to even end in the next 5 minutes unless one team makes a mistake.
Yeah, who knows? Right now, Gem is going to be secured by the puck down in bottom. But for now, it should be fairly passive. I don't know. It's especially going to be passive for the dire side, or for Lions rather, is Ravage is going to be on cooldown, double Ravage for 90.
Well, they need the double Ravage for sure, I think, for the fights. Roshan is up though, so they could just grab that one, get the Aegis for themselves, and let's say they do get on Roshan. Who do they even give the Aegis to? Is it still the Necrophos or?
I still think you give it to Necrophos. Death Prophet isn't going to use the second life very well. Neither are any of the other heroes. Most of them are fairly one-cycle heroes. And Era, he'll be able to put that extra mana and health to good use. And the longer Necrophos stays in the fight, the better. Death Prophet, when she dies, Exorcism down. And without Exorcism, Kix does nothing. Once Ravages are spent for the Tidehunter, it's fairly useless. And I expect him to get it off before he falls. If we're in a situation where Tidehunter just gets bursted incredibly fast, maybe consider giving it to Jonathan Fan, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well, Jonathan Fan is getting pretty damn close to his Shiva's card. Actually, about 35 gold away if he wants to buy it up and not save for buyback. Although I think having buyback at this point is highly beneficial. A moment and oh, they're gonna fish with the arrow. It's gonna land on Tidehunter as well. Not the best hero to go for. Quicks though, he jumps the gun completely, pops the Ravage in the background. Puck, can he escape? He runs straight into arrow. Never mind, you'll set it up on the Sand King. Probably gonna make it out, or well, his escape will be pretty heroic. Pyro Strike misses. Can he escape? Phase shift, blink out. Man, he's gonna have to escape and gets the blink away. Into the enemy base he goes. And Quicks all the while is Exorcism running for nothing. TP's, they're coming back to base just to get the puck. They're going to get the Pyro Strike finally, so puck. He's gonna lose his life. Reaper's life as well, and that's actually a huge deal that Era got to him like that.
Yeah, what a player. Bland TPing right where the puck was going to phase shift to. And then you have Era getting that kill with the Reaper's Sight. No buyback available for the puck, and he's going to be down for a minute and a half, which is honestly huge. Exorcism is going to be down since Kix used that earlier in that engagement, if you can even call it an engagement. Kix just really fast on his fingers, deciding to go for that Exorcism a little too fast. It's going to slow down this Roshan, but with a double life going to the Necrophos, going high ground is just so much easier now that they do have that double Ravage available. And honestly, without dealing with the puck, I think that this push is going to work a lot better for them. As long as they kill off the Ember Spirit. Razor, although he does a lot of damage in the team fights, I think he's more ignorable than the Ember. Getting off that many Sleight of Fists in the last fight was pretty significant.
Well, we'll see how well they can defend Min Quicks. No Exorcism, so not that scary, although he will have enough for the heart. But Razor, he has the Linken's buff on him as well, just to be on the safe side at the moment. Necrophos, his ultimate will cool off in 1 second, as in now, but planned. For a second I thought he's gonna epicenter, but they just smoke up, or he himself smokes up where Roshan is going on. Roshan definitely not going down fast by any means. They're gonna use another gush and they're finally gonna get the kill, but they only lose a tier 3 for it, so I think it's actually fine.
Yeah, at this point in the game, tier 3 towers don't really mean much. It's also, yeah, not going to swing any amount of gold in the favor of the Radiant giving them any crucial items for themselves, but now, in mid...
Oh god, Slasher Strike, can they get there? I mean, he has the Aegis, but they need to bring him down twice. Jonathan Van gonna come in as well. Blink Ravage, maybe 4 step forward, waiting with the blink. They catch Pain in the ice path and should be easy kill. I mean, he gets the defensive nightmare off, but he just loses his life. For a second, it looked decent. I thought House of Gamers are gonna get a better jump than this, but they just lose a hero, and Fiend's Grip and Nightmare are rather important even for them, to be honest. And now Era, with that Aegis, it's going to be a tier 2 at least, maybe even tier 3 force down.
Jump in from the puck. Does some bursted era, but that doesn't matter. A couple more death pulses, a little more status. They'll be fine, and yes, the Aegis of Force really comes to Boris. Without the Bane, it's just so much harder for them to fight. As you said, those Fiend Script and Nightmare are just so crucial for them to be able to focus down targets, especially Era. And right now it's going to be pushed down in bottom. Sleight of Fist is going to be annoying, but the range barracks is soon to fall, and melee barracks probably going to fall after. Liquid Fire constantly putting that damage into the tower, and well, it's pretty much dead already. Kix might lose his life here. They're going to chain up Kix as well as Bland, but Force Staff will keep Bland pretty safe, as well as the Yule Scepter coming up from the DP. BKB popped by the Razor, trying to pursue this out, but they can't really do much. The melee barracks, unfortunately enough, 4 Lions still stand. They'll be able to blow up the DP. Ravage 1 going to be spent. Doesn't land on anything except for BKB Slash Strike, and that doesn't do anything. Refresher looking for a second Ravage. It's not going to be before Era falls. He has the Aegis, however, is coming back shortly. They need to bail him out here. Shiva's jump in from the Tidehunter. Does have a Ravage. Not going to spend it yet. Slash Strike going to be ulted. There's your Ravage. Razor now down the sidelines for quite some time. Era trying to man fight up against 2 heroes. The Epicenter Burst Strike doing a decent amount of damage, but not to Malum as BKB is activated. Trying to man fight up against the Necrophos. He doesn't throw out any Sleight of Fist. It's on cooldown. He's going to Remnant up towards the north, trying to escape here, but he won't be able to make it out, or will he? No, it's going to be a triple kill for Era. Now Burst Strike. They found faith in strangers as he was looking for a Nightmare, anything to save his life. Can't do it. Now with only the Mirana standing and only a buyback on the Ember Spirit, it looks like this is going to be a successful push down bottom.
Oh god, just really well done from them, of course. Tidehunter, he can clear off creepers pretty fast together with Vera helping out with the Death Pulse, and Ember Spirit has buyback, but they already lost the range barracks, melee barracks so damn low as well. He might have to buy back for the mid lane Rax defense, but I'm not too sure if he's even going to be enough. Death Prophet is going to respawn as well. No Boots of Travels, but he can purchase them and just join it. No Exorcism yet anyway, but 2 Rax ahead. This game sure looks like Lion pretty much has it in the bag.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for next game, I should have a co-caster as well. Arrow's going to land on a Bland, but doesn't really accomplish much. Lincoln Sphere popped onto a moment. Also doesn't really matter. This third lane of barracks is falling very quickly, and Ember Spirit isn't dropping his buyback yet. Blink Burrow Strike onto a moment. A moment's only going to be living for that long, but he's going to be dead for a lot longer. 2 minutes onto the sidelines for the poor Mirana. She didn't really do anything to deserve that, but now it's going to be the melee barracks in mid being focused on. Ember Spirit still holding on to his buyback. Here we go. Going to spend it. Needs to get back into this fight ASAP, but he can't do so. Range barracks being focused down. Remnants forward. Puck blinking forward. Dagon onto Era. They still can't break through this iron wall that is the Necrophos. He still has a decent amount of healing left in his pockets, although needs to be on the sidelines of the fight. They are now going to eat into Malum. He does have the BKB activated, just not doing enough damage. The Exorcism Spirits are ripping him apart, and Era's going to get that kill onto the Ember Spirit, and that's going to be GG, well played. As House of Gamers, it's going to be 1-1 for them, and their tournament life is just on the razor's edge of falling out of their hands.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, they're going to have to win, I think, every single of their next game. So 4 more games for them to play. They're going to have to win every single one. But just GG, well played for Lions. I mean, they managed to hold on and just kind of come back from the great start that House of Gamers had.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for watching. That's going to be our first best of 2 of the day. It took a lot longer than it probably should have, but we'll have another